Hey, good evening. What's going on, everybody? We pray that your week has been going pretty good. It's another Wednesday, hump day, almost to the end of the week. Just keep pushing. I know the Lord is going to bless you real good. And man, weather's been good outside. I know the beginning of the week it was a little cool, but man, it's been getting really nice. And well, I'm just excited about what God is doing in this season of our lives. I'm excited. I'm telling y'all about this conversation. So listen, real quick, before I get into any announcements, man, if you are watching this broadcast right now, hurry up. I'm from Northeast DC, but hurry up. Go find anyone who is single and ready to mingle, regardless of age. I got some young adults that's going to rock with me tonight, but man, tell them hurry up, pull up to this conversation tonight, because it's going to be something I think that's going to go down for the books. And so in a few minutes, I'll introduce those that are rocking with me tonight. I know many of you all are just jumping off of our prayer line that was from 7:30 to 8 o'clock tonight. So much to pray for. So much is going on, not just in the world today, but obviously in your personal life. And so we ask God's richest blessing and his power as you continue to deal with whatever you're dealing with in this life. But I tell you this, with God, man, you can get through anything. And so we're excited tonight. Listen, tonight, quasi begins. I say quasi because this coming Sabbath, we'll have a guest preacher with us. Dr. Pastor Ramon Griffith will be in the building with us on this coming Sabbath. But it begins kind of like this road towards teaching on family life issues. And obviously, one of the things that we deal with the most is marriages. And so listen, y'all know it. We've been making an announcement for the past month, over a month. The last Sabbath of this month, I still do. Last Sabbath this month, April 29th, we will be having, get this, a wedding during the worship service. It won't be, I feel like, I don't know that dude's name, Sheldon. This ain't your ordinary. It ain't your ordinary worship service that day. We having a wedding. We are going to give married couples an opportunity to recommit, to rededicate, to still say I do to one another. And Kalante Gavin, that's his name. Your boy Kalante Gavin. This ain't no ordinary worship. And so I see you, Brother Ernest Bryant, man. Hurry up and tell somebody who dating, pull up to this conversation. Good evening, John Graves. 29th, I still do. During the worship service, we will be having a wedding. Couples, you've been registering. You have the sheet. We want you to craft and write your own vows that we're going to give you an opportunity to read to each other, and just an opportunity to strengthen your marriage. And then, of course, after we go on to the reception, we're going to turn up on the Sabbath day. Think about it. And so I don't know, maybe the Lord will turn water into wine for us during that reception. But on the 28th, that Friday night, as most of you all have had when you got married, we're going to do a bachelor and bachelorette party. This Friday night is not just for married couples. As you know, singles come to bachelor and bachelorette parties as well. So we're inviting everyone. If you're married and if you are single, we're going to have something for everyone. Come out on that Friday night. What's going on, Brother Vernon Murphy? Come out that Friday night. We're going to pour into the lives of married couples as well as singles. And it's going to be a blessing. If you got kids, don't allow that to keep you home, because we have something special for your children too. Only problem is, well, I don't know if this is a problem, but only thing is you got to pick them up when it's time to go home. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be a phenomenal evening on April 28th at the Bachelor and Bachelorette party. And then on April 29th for I Still Do vow and wedding ceremony. And then the reception after. Man, I'm not sure if all the slots are filled. Is it too late to register, or can we still register for this, Sheldon? Because folk been registering. Okay, I'm sorry, it's too late. But if you would like to still renew your vows, please, I want you to be there on Sabbath just to still say I do, and come out on Friday night. And I know it's going to be a blessing to everyone. For Friday night, we can open it up until April 22nd. I just got the okay to do that. So please come out. Listen, tonight, though. Tonight, man, we're going to have this conversation on single and dating in 2023. So I got some folk that's going to rock with me tonight. First, man, let me bring on the young adult leader for Emmanuel-Brinklow Seventh-day Adventist Church. Mr. Aaron Budd is here to rock with me tonight. What's going on, Aaron B?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, you sound like a R&B singer or something like that, man. Aaron B, you know what I mean? That'd be a great album cover. And I got my man Aaron B that's going to rock with me tonight. And so you here as a young adult leader, man. Thanks for coming through tonight. And then I got my lady, Miss Marissa Thomas. She's in the building tonight. Marissa, I think this is your first time rocking with us tonight on a Wednesday night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my first appearance.
Hey, listen, man, we need to make this a ready thing. You look camera ready tonight, and we're excited to get into this conversation. Listen, if everyone in the world could smile like you at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, I think this world would be a better place, man. You look like you are fresh, rejuvenated, and ready for this conversation.
Yeah,
you know
I'm ready for it.
All right, cool. And then we've got my homie, Pastor Jawan Sanders. He is the youth young adult pastor, assistant pastor at the Metropolitan Seventh-day Adventist Church there in Hyattsville, Maryland. I got my man. He got the hat on. He got the flannel shirt. He got the white tee. Listen, I know we talk about singles, but ladies, I don't. We're gonna get into his status, but I don't know if he's gonna. But listen, man, it's good to have you with us tonight, man. I really appreciate you being here.
Man, I'm really happy that I can be here. Thank you so much for the invite. First time I get to commune with Brinklow, so I'm happy to be here.
Won't be the last. And what a fitting conversation we're about to get into.
Oh yeah,
with dating. And then we've got I have 2 biological kids, but I have many spiritual sons and daughters, and so I got my daughter that says she would come rock with me tonight. Miss Rachel Mason is here with me tonight, all the way from 614 OH.
I-O.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna play me. All right, cool. So
No,
never.
never.
Got my daughter all the way from Columbus, Ohio. Rachel Mason that's gonna rock with me tonight. So, man, I'm just excited to dig in this conversation. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we're not gonna have time to finish everything that comes out of this conversation. And if you're watching right now, text 3 people, 1 for the Father, 2 for the Son, Holy Ghost. Text 3 people right now. Tell them, hurry up, pull up to this conversation, because I'm sure, and I know, listen, fellas, I know the play-in game, it started last night. Y'all excited that Braun got the 7th seed and the play-in game started. I get it. It's going to be there. Pull up to this conversation and then go watch that. So let's start this way. And I know this is a weird way to start a conversation on dating, but I'm going to go here to kind of prime y'all pumps to be talking, okay? Are y'all with me tonight? Y'all ready to go in?
yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
This is for anybody to pick up on. Give me 3 people, dead or alive, that you would love to have dinner with. 3 famous people, dead or alive, that you would love to sit down and have dinner with. Let's get it.
Does it have to be of the opposite sex?
No, it can be whoever. So I'll give you mine. I'll start it off. Let me get Martin Luther King Jr. Let me do Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
And all those people are dead. I didn't get no folk alive, but those are my 3 right now. That I would love to just sit down, have dinner, and have a conversation with. Who want to pick it up? 3 people, dead or alive, you would love to have dinner with.
For me, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go. Ladies first.
Okay.
Ladies first.
So Zora Neale Hurston.
Ooh.
I would love to speak with Drake.
Yeah.
And then Donald Glover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's okay. We getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's up? Somebody else. That's a good list.
I would say Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. Ooh.
Dave Chappelle.
Okay, Pastor. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. He from DC. Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an interesting dinner conversation.
Yeah. And last person, I would have to say Cynthia Erivo. She was the leading actress in The Color Purple on Broadway.
Yeah.
Cynthia Erivo. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2 down to the go. These are great lists. Who gonna take it, Rachel or Aaron?
I don't got no one in mind. I have two
He
in mind.
took one of mine. Do I? Can I say the same?
Yeah, you can say the same
Can
one.
I
This
say
your
the same
dinner.
ones? Because Cynthia
It's
Erivo.
your dinner.
I'm definitely going Langston Hughes,
Ooh.
Edgar Allan Poe,
Yeah.
and Cynthia Erivo. Because Edgar Allan Poe had some issues. I just want to know what his life is like.
Man, y'all would have this would be a serious dinner. I'll tell you that right now. Man. All right.
So
I was
my
trying to
three-
listen.
Allen Poe. Yeah. All right.
my three,
Aaron B, it's
number
on
one,
you, bro. Who you asking to come
Number
to
one,
dinner?
I got Kobe.
You got Kobe?
Yeah.
I got Kobe Bryant.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Got Kobe Bryant.
Somebody shouting you out, Rachel.
great.
Carmela Crawford.
You took Harry.
Hey,
Kobe. Wow, that's a good one. Give me your second one.
You took Harriet Tubman. So I'm gonna say Harriet Tubman. That was my.
Yeah,
that was my second
it's your
one.
dinner. Harriet Tubman. Okay.
Oh, for sure. And I would say Barack Obama, man. Barack Obama.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
All
Very
right.
safe. Very safe.
All right, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. All right, so let me push the envelope a bit more. Now we about to get into it. Let's put it out there. Let's put it out there. Are you currently dating or single? Let's go there right now. Are you currently dating or single?
That's the same
Single.
thing.
All right. All right, Zora Neale Hurston. All right. Are you currently dating someone or are you currently not dating someone?
Not dating someone.
Not
I'm
dating?
not dating
All right.
anyone.
Aaron, where you going, man? You trying to get out of this conversation already, brother? Where you going?
Nah, bro, I can't.
Okay.
I'm just trying to connect my charger.
I got you. All right. Not dating.
I'm not dating. I'm single as a Pringle.
Not dating. Okay.
I am dating. I am most certainly dating.
Pastor, you're dating.
Yes.
All right. Rachel.
I'm single, but I'm intentionally dating. So I'm not just gonna throw out the term dating because that
all
means
right.
you out there.
So based on what you just said, how would you define dating? Like, what's dating mean to you?
I feel like so secularly dating normally includes lots of secular things like one night stands and bad relationships. So for me, dating is going out and meeting people, getting to know people, having intentional conversations, but never like I would separate dating and courting, because when you're courting, you're committed to the one person and you're figuring that out. When you're dating, you should be open. You should be dating inclusively, not exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, y'all. Okay. I don't know if I was thinking this way when I was y'all age, but okay. Y'all Zora Neale and Drake and Edgar Allan
You
Poe.
have to think that way because everything is so complicated. You have to define every little thing.
Yeah.
Or
You
else
have to
one
be
party is
very
like,
clear.
and the other party is like, well, I thought we were doing this. So you have to be very explicit about what is happening.
So I was going to ask this later, but since y'all bring it up, let's go here. What is the most difficult part of dating? So I told you guys this as we were talking before I came on, like this year, my wife and I have been married 19 years, right? So we've been in the game 19 years this August.
Wow.
And when we were dating, there was no social media. Social media was not a thing. I think like smartphones were just kind of, you started texting. Pastor Sanders, you're looking at me like I'm old. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So like social media didn't impact. So like, I don't know if that is, I don't know what I'd be doing if I was dating right now, but what's the most difficult part of dating? Y'all saying things are so complicated. Like, I mean, what does that mean? What is so complicated about dating?
So I'll say this. Been in a relationship for a good long time. Not going to say how long, because I don't want to incur the "you should be married by now" shouts from people. But I think what's difficult is the fact that once you get out of school, the dating pool really shrinks. It shrinks a lot. Especially if you're Adventist and
Pastor, somebody's saying how long? How long, Pastor? That's the question. That's the question that's coming from those that are watching.
Long enough. Long enough.
Okay.
Correct.
Prophetically.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. But
soon come.
What I can say is that what makes it difficult for a lot of individuals, especially if you're trying to date fellow Adventists, is the fact that it's very hard to find committed Seventh-day Adventist young adults in the church. It's very hard, especially since the pandemic happened. There was a mass exodus during the quarantine from young adults, and so it's hard to find individuals who still want to date within this Adventist bubble for words. So I would say that frequency, the amount of people who are available, is something that people struggle with nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't think there are enough people to date in the bubble that you're in? Is that what you're saying?
I am not saying that because one, I have the privilege of being a pastor, and being a pastor makes you kind of sort of like a magnet. But in addition to that,
pastor. Okay, now brothers and sisters, now the truth is coming out. Now he said he's dating somebody, so I'm trying to help the brother, but I don't know if he want to be helped. The question is still how long? That's the question that was asked. How long? Oh Lord, how long? No, okay. So you're saying it's difficult because number one, once you leave school, I'm guessing you're saying undergrad, once you leave there, and that's if you go to an Adventist institution.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to quantify that. You're saying the dating pool shrinks.
It sure does. It sure does.
Right. So that's difficult. Somebody else. What's so difficult about dating right now?
I almost want to counter his argument because a lot of us also don't go anywhere.
Counter it, Rachel, because Pastor Sanders said he's a magnet. He said he's a
magnet.
Pastor Sanders
say that.
He said his flannel shirt makes him a dating magnet. So,
yes, we don't go to church, but we also don't go other places. And we are not intentional about being it's. And I am very victim to this. I have a group of friends. A very clear group of friends. And how often do I steer outside of that group of friends? Not very often. I am currently intentionally forcing myself to go out in the world, not just on I just graduated. So on a career level, I'm going to
you just gonna slip
happy
that
hours
you just
and
graduated?
Stuff.
Hold on, guys. Let's affirm that now. Don't Rachel, don't roll your eyes at me. This is a college graduate now.
Amen.
Put some respect on it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I just graduated and I just started a job, and I started a job I started a job in an industry that no one in my family, I don't know people in my field. So I have to take the time on days and evenings and weekends to go places where I normally would not find myself. And I'm finding that I also have to do that when I'm dating, because you can only be seen if you're in places where you can be seen. So if you sitting at home with your friends, or you over at your friend's house couch hopping, you can't find people on somebody else's couch. You gotta find people outside.
Well, Rachel, you said something too. I want to bring up, and then I'm coming to you, Marissa and Aaron B, about this because I want y'all to weigh in on this. I just saw something today on Instagram that it made me sad, but it made me think about what you said. So you were saying, hey, I got my friends group, I got my circle group, and I don't really get outside that too much, right? So, and y'all will have to tell me this. I know y'all know her name. There was a young lady who earlier this year, a couple months ago, she went down to Mexico with some friends, and there's videos seen of these friends punching her, and she later died. They called mom and told her, what's the name? Y'all know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about. I literally just saw the post on Instagram, but I cannot remember her name.
So she died. She was killed in Mexico, Shaquilla Robinson, and they told her family a fabricated story. Well, it just came out today that no charges are going to be filed against the friends that she went with. I'm bringing up that story because it made me think, like, man, in this day and age, I don't know, Rachel, if it's just about, man, I don't venture out, but man, you have to literally be careful about who you open the sanctuary spaces and places of your heart to, because you leave North Carolina to go to Mexico thinking you're gonna come back to North Carolina and you wind up, you know what I'm saying, dead. So that
but a lot of us don't spend time. A lot of us don't spend time in quiet time with ourselves. So like you can't have authentic friends if you're not first authentic with yourself. So like,
I guess
she went down to Mexico with people who she thought were her friends. I would not be.
Hey, Aaron B. I guess Rachel did just graduate from college, because that was deep. I read a quote, guys, that said the most frustrating person that we're around sometimes is ourselves. And you know, the pandemic obviously made us just, you know what I'm saying, be around ourselves. So so we got the bubble, I'll say, and then Rachel said, man, we just don't go out. That's difficult. Obviously, I told somebody a couple weeks ago, I said, listen, I believe in miracles. Y'all believe in miracles?
Of course.
All right. So
yes,
I believe God can work miracles. However, and I know they say that negates everything before, I've not seen where you're just laying in your bed and you're praying, you say, God, I just want to meet the man of my dreams, the woman of my dreams. If you would just send that to me now in the powerful name of Jesus, and then somebody knocks on your door, you open the door, and then you live happily ever after, as they say. You know, that just don't happen. You know what I'm saying? You meet people. So, all right, we got the bubble. We don't go out. What else is difficult? Marissa or Aaron B?
I feel like everybody's situation is different. I don't think there's anything wrong with the bubble per se, especially because there's just a lot out there in the world, especially if you're dating people that you don't have have anybody who's like a mutual friend. Like I know with my issue, it's like I'm dating people in the street that I don't know really much about outside of what they tell me. Versus in the bubble, you kind of know each other. It's a little bit easier. But I know in my experience, I wasn't really taught how to date. I had to learn.
Hold on, Marissa. I'm getting to that question.
Well, what I'm just excited.
Y'all college graduates, man.
I wasn't taught how to date. And so my experience was from the street, which I think God takes all of this into account. And make sure you get what you get and, you know, protects you and all that. I didn't make, you know, horrific mistakes, but there were a lot of things and situations that could have been avoided for sure. I was talking to my mom, this was like a couple months ago, and I said, you know what, Mom, the church aunties you grew up with would have never had me single this long.
Would never what?
Would have never had me single this long.
Oh yeah.
When my mom grew up, they had potlucks, they had events, you know, so they would introduce you to somebody's cousin. There was an environment to foster these relationships, you know, within the church. So somebody knew, you know, everybody, like someone could vouch to whoever you were dating. And, you know, like Brinklow used to have buses, you know, drive from Howard or drive from the schools downtown to Brinklow and, you know, have the children or the college kids mixed together. So,
Marissa, where are the church mothers? Somebody is
on their job. My mom, and now she's like slowly like, there's this one guy that she wants to introduce me to at her church. And I said, so what are you going to do? Are you going to have a potluck? Like, I need something from you because I'm just not going to show up at your church and that's that. Like, I need more.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like missing with our parents. Like, hey, we need to learn from you. You guys are in, you know, well, I know a lot of people in healthy relationships that have lasted for decades. Like, where is that knowledge transfer? Like, we're just out here.
So let me say this too, Marissa. Like, I've always been, I'm about to say something, and maybe y'all don't know what this means. I've always been like, on singles ministry. Let me tell you why. It's like every time singles ministry has an event, I don't care if it's bowling, I don't care if it's potluck, I don't care if it's Bible study. Man, the atmosphere is a feeding frenzy. We all single. And so everybody I look at, it's the like potential to, you know what I mean? It's like, man, we're the disciples sitting at the table. Are you the one? You know what I mean? So I resonate with what you're saying, Marissa, and I'm going to get into, you know, some of what you're saying later. You know, I had the blessing of, I went to Oakwood. My wife and I actually met at the beginning of our freshman year. We started dating at the end of our freshman year. And to be honest, she is the only person I dated when I was in college.
Wow.
It was it, man. I mean,
must be nice.
That's a miracle.
Must be nice.
So I'm gonna tell y'all something. Man, I feel like nobody's watching this. I feel like we're just having a good conversation. It's good. So I felt, you know, I knew I was gonna be a pastor, Pastor Sanders. I knew that. I knew the Lord had called me a pastor. And again, to that bubble, and y'all know this, the Adventist network is like that big. Okay. And I knew I did not want to date multiple people because the chances of people I went to school with then being in churches I pastored was huge. I mean, I'm terrible at math, but it's stats. And every church that I've pastored, there have been people who I went to college with every single time, right? So we met beginning of freshman year in October. And then, you know, we kind of just developed a friendship, started going out, and then she was really cool. And then, you know, we met the parents, I think like sophomore, junior year, whatever the case may be. And then we just started growing. And then we got engaged when I was at seminary. And it's 19 years later, 2 kids, whatever. And so I know that's not everyone's testimony, right? And I do think it becomes challenging because I'm going to tell you something else I don't like. Not only, this is terrible coming from a pastor, Pastor Sanders, but not only do I not like singles ministry, let me tell you something else I don't like. I don't like, and I hear this all the time, when parents say things to their kids or to their kids' friends or whatever like this. When you gonna give me some grandbabies? When you gonna get married? When you gonna and I want to literally just come for them because, to your point, Marissa, I want to say to those parents, when did you ever sit them down and tell them how to be? Because we normally attract who we are.
Yeah.
Right. And so people get in their feelings like, I don't know why I'm always getting these type of people. It's because you're drawing them. Right. So I'm gonna get into that, Marissa. That's a great point you're making. Shout out to everyone out there watching. Marissa Thomas just called all the church mothers and church aunties out. She says you have been negligent in your responsibility. Carmela Crawford, those things, anything we can do to create more of an opportunity for you. Would that be offensive? Say if we invited a big group of singles to dinner like people used to do for us. So she's asking, so what can we do to make those opportunities? Yeah.
I feel like it becomes stigmatized when you make it about the singles. Like, just have the potluck. Like, I live at home with my mama. I'm coming to get this free food. Like, that's never not a question. Like, you don't have to say, it's not offensive to have the potluck. And it's not offensive if the intention is to bring singles together. Just don't make it about singles. It's like, I cringe when church members or church officials say the youth, as if they're not people. Like just have the event. It's not that deep. You don't have to.
Hey, Pastor Sanders, don't have no singles potluck, okay?
Hey, I won't. Never
All right,
will.
Wow. Listen. I don't think you guys understand. So don't do the thing singles. Y'all hungry.
No,
Listen, I don't
absolutely
think y'all
not.
understand.
Just
how
ask
much
me if
you
I'm
insane.
hungry.
Playing games.
Just
They
say
playing
you hungry.
games now.
There.
They're playing games now.
All right, Aaron B, don't try to evade this. What's so difficult about dating right now?
I was this close, Pastor Washington.
To what?
To evading, but no. So I feel like everybody made some good points, man. I can speak from a personal standpoint. Like Jawan said, man, I was like, oh man, like no one's out here, but I'm still in my room. And then like Rachel,
Rachel.
Rachel, like Rachel mentioned, it's like, bro, how do you expect people to see you if you know what I'm saying, not being seen? And then like Marissa mentioned, it's like, okay, but now that I'm out here, what are the opportunities for me to meet certain people? But in my personal opinion, man, like I feel like the pressure like that's put on single people that you mentioned as well. I feel like the pressure like it may cause someone to rush. You feel me? It may cause someone to rush, go in the wrong spots. And now you're in a down bad position in some you was never meant to be in. But
Marissa
the
said you
heart,
preaching. That's okay. Let me just pause. That's what that hand like that means.
Yeah.
That means you're preaching. Okay.
Yes. And now I'm sorry to interrupt Aaron, but like,
no,
So
go
why'd
ahead.
you do it?
I,
I'm joking. It's a joke.
no, I'm just saying, because like it's like, you know, and then you get out the situation, thankfully, and but then your feelings are all messed up, and then you blame God, and God was like, I never told you to
Never said
do
that.
this. Now you got baggage.
It's not me.
Mercy.
Sorry, but
No. That's
it's
facts.
my self-reflection that I've had over the past couple years. Like, I didn't tell you to go there. Now look at you.
So let's start here, Marissa. I'm circling back to something you posed earlier that I think, to be honest, is at the heart of this whole discussion, right? But let's start this way. Where did you learn, however you move in dating, from? Like, where did that originate from? Where, you know, Marissa said, man, because y'all church mothers ain't told me nothing. I just been struggling and learned it basically from peers.
Yeah.
I would argue not even peers, man. I would say from the media, like movies, man. And I would wonder why like my relationships
That
weren't
one,
realistic because
yeah.
it's Disney Channel. Like, what am I? You feel me? Like, I'm learning from Nickelodeon, and I'm wondering why my relationships aren't working out like I thought they would. And it's like I'm not having that
Fairy tale.
what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not having that example in real life. So it's like I'm gonna go to something else.
Give me an example.
Okay, prime example, just standard example.
Sure.
Disney movies. Prince Charming meets the attractive girl he's attracted to. She's attracted to him. Whoop-de-whoop. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, two people find each other, and then it's like, whoa, that's not even love, bro. That's not even like the concept of dating, the concept of like real life. You feel me? So I feel like and it's catered to the children. They cater Disney movies, they cater media, they cater all that to children. So we grow up. Not to say everybody found those movies influential or like that had an impact on their personal life, but we grew up like seeing an unrealistic view of love or of relationship or of community, companion, whatever it may be, right?
Really?
And I feel like in my personal, that really like played a huge part in like how I viewed women, how I viewed friends, just whatever it is, just relationship in general.
Wow.
So I heard this. I was watching something, can't remember what, but it said something about how our TV programming has changed. So like, I mean, I'm 23, so I got to watch the Huxtables, but like people in the 2000s, like when the Huxtables went off and stuff, like a lot of TV shows currently or like movies now, they end at the marriage. They don't go past the aha beautiful moment at the end when you're like, oh, I'm so in love. Like none of it divulges into the everyday life of a married couple and how they're happy living all these old schools. That's how people probably prior to me learned how to date. But like us, I grew up in a single parent home. I had examples outside of my house, but because I wasn't living, I didn't get an up close view of what it looks like to go through the children and the jobs and I gotta do this and
Like
I
day
gotta
to
do
day.
that, and I got surgery, and I never got to see any of that. So I had to learn by trial and error. I didn't have a boyfriend until I was out of high school, and at that point I was just like, oh, men find me attractive, I'm gonna get with the first man that finds me attractive. Like it never occurred to me that, oh, maybe you should like talk to somebody, have a conversation, or ask, because no one's ever said anything. And when I was growing up, the only thing I heard was sex is for marriage. That's the whole conversation.
Yeah.
There was no sex is enjoyable, but it's enjoyable in the sanctity of marriage, and this is how you should date, and this is how you should court. I never heard any of that, because at church they were just worried about people having premarital sex. They weren't worried about what I was doing otherwise. They weren't worried about my mental health, my personal health. They were just worried about the fact that I'm laying down on somebody's bed, spreading my legs open. Like, that's all they cared about.
Rachel, you are on one tonight.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
And so what did I do? I did the one thing I was told I wasn't supposed to do, because that's all I was told. Don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex. And what I would go and do, first boy who I found attractive, who actually found me attractive, I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, like this is how it's supposed to be. We fall in love off of some random whim, and then I start having sex because it just feels right. And now I'm here, 23, single.
And see, here's the thing too. I think anyone who you are attracted to and has some type of goals, I mean, it only got to be like elaborate, but if you're attracted to them and have some type of goals, you have the potential to catch feelings with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there. You got the potential. And you know, the stuff that we learned about, well, I don't know if we learned. Man, you said so much, man. My head is on a swivel right now. So let me let y'all talk. Where did you learn dating, whatever, from? How to move in dating? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I echo both their thoughts. You know, it certainly didn't come from the church. It didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think that like many of our like the past generations, our more experienced church members. There we go. You know, I see so many unhappy married people, you know, who are still married, although they are like extremely unhappy. Like sometimes they hate each other, you know, but they stay faithful because, you know, Adventists, they stay faithful. Praise God for them.
That's true. Sorry.
That's not my testimony, but listen, and y'all be asking, you know, why am I not married yet? But anyway,
hey, Pastor, tell them you are not in a hurry to get into
trying to
what
get it
looks
right.
like it's not working for you.
Well,
trying to get it right.
Take your time. Tell them to leave you alone. Tell them to mind their
let me
business.
say this. Let me say this too for anybody who's not married, unmarried, single, man. Nothing is wrong with you. You don't have a scarlet letter on, because we have placed people in a category and given them a stigma that just because they're not married, something's wrong with them. When that's just not the case. And so,
my God,
you know, I've been pastoring almost 20 years now, and I would say the church is one of my questions here, but we have done, Pastor, a horrible job of facilitating real conversations about how to have healthy relationships. The only thing that we have pushed, as Rachel has so eloquently stated, she was on one tonight, that, man, you know, don't have sex. And
can we also talk about
we didn't even communicate that sex is a beautiful thing. We just said don't have it, and have it in marriage. And the communication wasn't even that it's enjoyable in marriage.
Yeah.
Can I poke
You got
one
a
more
whole
hole in
lot of
that?
people that are getting married now
Listen,
and don't know what to do sexually, even in a marriage relationship, because they will push for years that sexuality was evil. So,
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
that Rachel, before you hop in, it's actually really detrimental. I have friends, I have church members who have gotten married, and they thought that sex was going to be great, all to feel guilty after doing it. And it lets you know that we have not taught this thing like through the right lens. We typically
Hey,
like have,
Pastor.
yes, sir.
Hey, if I tell y'all this, do y'all promise not to tell nobody?
I promise.
I don't even know what you talk about.
Marissa, you promise not to tell nobody?
Pinky promised.
You promise not to laugh at me?
I don't know. I can't promise that.
Hey, Aaron B, you promise not to laugh? I'm gonna tell you how crazy what we're talking about is.
Mhm.
So I get married, right? And so we're having marital sexual relations.
Praise
I
God.
mean, all the time. And I'm feeling it's almost like, man, it's like, dang, should I be doing this? It was
Wow.
almost as if, even though I was married, it was something that shouldn't be done because I was told for so long it shouldn't be done.
It shouldn't be done. Yeah.
So I'm like, God, I know this is a blessed event, but I'm saying, y'all understand how crazy this is?
Very.
Because we as a church have done a poor job at facilitating these conversations.
Right.
It's not shocking. I think the topic of sexuality and romantic relationships fit into the topic of sexuality. The church has not necessarily been the most upfront about having conversations that deal with sexuality. It's often an uncomfortable one, and thus it makes a lot of sense that for many individuals are still married, but they're not having the best sex that they can be having with their partners. It makes a whole lot of sense that when individuals get married, they're feeling that guilt. It makes a lot of sense that one partner is still like unsatisfied while the other partner is thinking, oh, I did my job tonight, and we continue to perpetuate this cycle. It's a perpetual cycle that is not good. It takes some humility and it takes some patience to have this conversation. And unless we are willing to have it, individuals will undoubtedly learn it from other spaces, which, as Aaron said, we learn a lot from TV. We learn a lot from movies. I can't tell you how many rom-coms have like sealed the deal.
Hey, Pastor, there's some people watching that's 40 and 50 over. So you have to explain what rom-com is, man.
It's a romantic comedy.
Okay, thank you.
I think an old school movie, a classic, is Grease. I think Grease is one that that a whole bunch of people know. You can even say Dirty Dancing. You have so many different like rom-coms that kind of sort of teach you what's supposed to happen in the dating aspect, in the dating world. Typically, this guy, he works tirelessly until he gets the female's attention, the girl's attention. The girl is, a little hesitant. She doesn't know. She has a group of friends who are pushing her and saying, you need to get yourself out there. Just try it at least once. And she gives this guy a chance. And undoubtedly, they get together. And of course, what they typically teach in the movies is that sex is the most important thing. So if we have good sex, then our relationship is good. But undoubtedly, somewhere along the line, there's some communication issue that's had, and there's this falling out. And then there's this big romantic gesture that's done, typically on the side of the man, where it wins the heart of the woman, and it ends in a happy story. And so we're taught that romantic gestures are the most important thing.
Right.
We're taught that huge gestures cover a multitude of romantic sins. And we're taught that if we just keep going, guys, if we just keep going, sooner or later we'll get her attention. And so we learn so much from movies, but movies don't tell you the boring aspects of relationships that make a relationship last long. They don't do that for you. So as long as
Master, how long? How long?
A long time.
So let me ask y'all this then, based on what you just said. What are some things that you wish you would have known that you feel like you would have been informed a lot better about how to navigate this dating world? Like, what are some things, man? If I would have just known this, if somebody would have taught me this, if somebody would have given me this type of knowledge, that would have helped me out a great deal.
I would say this, and this is again coming from a personal standpoint, man. I would advise every single person under the you know what I'm saying, under the heavens, before you enter a dating relationship, man, do your healing work, bro. A lot of times, man, like
Get that therapy.
Get that, man. A lot of times we're here praying, God, what's going on? And sometimes God's answer to a prayer is go see a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. First of all, what I wish I would have known is I can't pray everything away. Two is do your healing work, bro, because a lot of the trauma stuff that you're dealing with is bro, just get that taken care of before you really decide to step into something exclusive. Because you don't want to prematurely ruin something that could have been because of your lack of knowledge. I remember the Bible says, man, my people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. So there's
night, Aaron.
Amen. So,
listen, if I could add to what you just said, I would also say that you are ineligible to get with someone until you know who you are.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than two fools walking down the wrong side of the street.
Right.
And I think, you know, there are some people that get into relationships to actually masquerade a lot of the hurt that they've experienced.
Some.
Because if I get in a relationship,
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't say everybody. I'm saying some people, if I get in a relationship and I'm broken, but I'm in a relationship with someone, that is at least affirming to say, well, somebody want me. So, like, I wish people would repeat every day based on what you just said, Aaron B. Man, I am good. I am whole. And remember, God did not bring Eve into Adam's life to complete him. Adam was a whole person before he met Eve. And I think a lot of people, you know, I want to be, what's the term that came up a couple weeks ago? I want to be his piece. Is that what they used to say? Right?
Yeah.
Hey, you
that's what they say.
On your own.
Yeah.
Because if you are waiting for another person to fulfill you, like I'll tell y'all this. I'll say this, man. I had to apologize to my wife for putting undue pressure on her for not being what she was not in my life to be. So let me break that down to y'all. A lot of people, because if you are not whole, if you didn't go through the work, as some life coaches say, you can put undue, unnecessary, unwarranted expectations on another person to be what they're not in your life to be. And so you are really wanting them to be your mother when they're not in your life to be your mother. They're in your life to be your spouse, or you want them to be what somebody you wish gave to you. And because you're still craving that, you are putting that on the other person, and they're not in your life to do that.
Yeah.
Or you've idolized them.
Say that again.
Or you've idolized them, or have idolized the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've
I think a lot of us do that.
I mean, I'll say
That's
this.
the problem.
Here's the thing. I don't know if we're going to get into this tonight because, I mean, I told y'all we won't get into it. Like, everybody has a thing. And y'all don't look at me crazy when I say this. What I mean by that is, you know, some guys like long flowing hair. Some young ladies like tall, dark. I used to have a friend of mine, Pastor Sanders. He would not date a girl unless she had pretty feet. He saw that movie Boomerang. You understand what I'm saying? And so everybody got a thing, right? Yeah. It's what, and so when you said we idolize Marissa, it just made me think, man, we idolize certain aspects or qualities, and we put them on such a high pedestal that even the inner man of a person can't even be seen because, man, she got hazel eyes and I wanted her to have blue eyes or green eyes. And because she ain't got the green eyes, I miss homegirl got a good job. She is a sweet person. She is a go-getter. Like, we miss everything that is the essence of a person because we have put this thing.
We have an image, what we want.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell y'all something. When you take that off the table, you'll start seeing people for who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saying we have made idols out of
everything.
Yeah, man.
Everything.
Man, she ain't
our preferences. We've idolized our preferences.
That's good.
And listen. Let me say this before you go, Aaron B. I'm not suggesting that being attracted to certain
qualities.
No, I don't want to use the word qualities.
Features.
That
Features.
I'm not saying that aesthetics aren't important. Obviously, for you to be married for somebody for a long time, you've got to be attracted to them. You can't be like your man, who was it, Jacob? And he woke up and realized that he married somebody that he ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to wake up in the bed and be like, what in the world did I? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. But let me say this before I forgot who was talking. Let me say this. In almost 20 years of marriage, what was attractive to me in year one, there's a difference now. All right, so let me break that down. So in year one, man, y'all make me feel weird. My wife got a nice shape, and I loved her smile. And, I just, like the way she moved or whatever the case may be, okay? But, Aaron, I think you had the floor. I'm coming to you after this. Let me tell you something, brother. When I saw that woman push an entire person out of herself, I was in the room, y'all. I witnessed everything. I was like, is she pushing a live human being that was inside, like Pastor? I feel like I'm in counseling. Pastor, that right there was attractive. Like, that was like, dude, you know what I mean? That's attractive. And so I think, sometimes we get attracted to things that have seasons and not longevity.
Yeah.
Temporary.
So some people are really a car accident away from falling out of love with somebody.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Because they're so in love with aesthetics and features that should something happen, it's like,
could be gone.
What's left in the relationship?
You speaking, dog.
All right, go ahead, Aaron, because I don't want to miss this.
So no, I'm glad you said the seasons part, man. I'm gonna say this, speaking on idolatry, because majority of us in this little bubble right here are single, right? 3 or 2. So
not me. I'm
joking. So I'm gonna say this, and this is something that I've heard preached, I've heard spoken on podcasts, and it really resonated with me personally. Again, with the idolatry, and I'm gonna go back to the seasons that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I feel as though in this Christian culture that the concept of marriage has become an idol. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though marriage itself is sought after, and why aren't you married yet? And all this pressure, it's like, yo, I have a relationship with God, bro. You know what I'm saying? Say that again.
Has become an idol?
Is an idol. And you know what I'm saying? It's
Pastor, how long?
Very long, very
It's an
long.
idol. It's an idol.
Yeah.
but no, I really do feel like that's although yes, it's a good thing, marriage is a good thing. But I feel as though like it comes to in our personal, each and every one of our personal lives, it's like, okay, what's the goal here? Is it to be married or is it to maintain a connection with the Lord? You feel me? So that's one thing. And like you mentioned, seasons. There's a season for everything. You know what I'm saying? There's a season for marriage. If there's a season for it, bro. So I feel like, again, speaking personally, I'm not gonna, which I fall into the trap multiple times, is just trying to force God's hand, trying to do it my way, trying to set my own timeline for life. And it's like, God, when, and that's when it becomes an idol for me. And I was just speaking on the idolatry part you were talking about.
You know what, Aaron?
It was up.
So I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm like, man, is it really idol? Man, the Holy Ghost just told me. I'm telling you. Because I was fighting. I was like, it's not an idol. Marriage is, I think it's an idol of validation. Marriage has become an idol of validation. It's the validation that when you marry someone, you have arrived. You have done it.
Yeah.
It's an idol of validation.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a check. It's a check off the list.
But watch this. After you get married, you know what the next idol of validation is? Having children.
Children.
When y'all gonna have kids.
Yeah.
And then the next idol of validation, when y'all gonna buy a house. And then the next idol of validation, when I know y'all gonna have some pets. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I'm gonna tell you what I've realized in my own life, because I've been asked all of these idols of validation. My wife and I were dating. We got engaged after we had been dating for 3.5 years. Right? And so, you know, when y'all gonna get married? When y'all gonna get married? So we got engaged. So when you got engaged, y'all set a date. So then we got married, and when y'all gonna have kids? So then you have kids. When you gonna do this? When you gonna do that? And I'm saying, I had to stop one day and realize, man, a lot of these people are so unhappy with their own lives that they need something that gives them oxygen. Right? Man, Aaron, you on one tonight, man. It's an idol of validation.
And I'm gonna say this: the more again, everything I'm saying is coming from my experience and falling into this trap of validation, man. The more I realized that, the more I've really made my relationship with Jesus Christ come to life, and I really said, okay, God, like, I don't need I don't want to. I've said that I don't want to reach out in these places to gain a connection. I don't want sex to be a connection for me. I want to have a connection with God, so that I'm not seeking these things. I'm not seeking this validation. And I feel like once you get as deep as you can, like, we can never get deep enough, but deep as possible in your walk with God, bro. I do feel as though, all these idols seem to drop off, or everything, all the baggage drops off, and I felt a sense of freedom. Like, I felt the sense of freedom, not living for anybody else.
Yeah.
Not trying to reach certain heights that I go ahead, Marissa. I see your hand.
Can I speak on like a personal testimony quickly?
Yes, you can.
So
what Obama said? Oh, he said yes, we can.
I had developed a relationship with one of my coworkers, a friendship. And, you know, we were both in similar spaces in our careers and our personal lives. And, you know, we would complain about dating, and the Holy Spirit impressed on her to have us start praying each morning over relationships, right? More to the story. So every morning at 6:30, we were praying. And after a couple months, I felt the Holy Spirit tell me, now that I have you, I have your attention.
Wow.
I can find you a man. That's easy. I'm trying to change your heart.
Mercy.
Now that I have you in this mindset. And
Prophet Thomas.
No, seriously, like the men that's easy. I'm trying to like get you to see me. And so, I, you know, had developed the habit of praying and reading. And I realized, I was talking to a friend a couple of weeks ago, that like my whole life trying to find this validation through a relationship That's what's been holding me back and really like taking this joy away. And I was feeling frustrated with God, and you know, it prevented me from really knowing who God is and delving deeper into the word, because I wasn't getting this validation that would have never like fulfilled me anyway. The man would have never fulfilled me. So, I mean, to everyone's point, it's like, we're idolizing this validation. It's on social media. It's at church. It's within our friend group. It's like, we want to be chosen, but we're trying to be chosen from people and things that like will never fulfill us and never make us happy. So I just wanted to leave that there. But
no, man, I think what you said is so important, because man, if what you said is true, and I think it's true,
it is.
Right? If what you said is true, and I believe it's 1,000% true, then I think what most people are really seeking is God. And because they can't get to him, they seek after other people that they want to make their God.
Amen.
But the longing of the heart is really for him.
Yeah.
And so when people start what we feel like they moving funny or acting funny, then we get frustrated because we're expecting for them to give us what God alone can give us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
All right. I told y'all we wasn't going to get through it. Somebody said excellent conversation. I feel that this should be taking place in the direct presence of our teens and young adults, although some may be here. Simply to be rich to kept among yourselves. Appreciate it, KTG. Cindy McNeil, most relationships start out as infatuation. That ain't nothing but the truth. If there's any real substance, you must move past infatuation to learning. Hey, listen, I have a rule that when you meet somebody and start dating, the first 6 to 8 months is a lie. You know, you can't pass gas around them, and you can't. I mean, you be using a knife and the fork at a restaurant. Like, you don't even use knives. You know what I'm saying? You don't even use napkins. You be wiping your. So anyway, but let's get this, because I mean, I could talk about this all day. I mean, y'all didn't know me. I swam in this for 6.5 years for my dissertation. So one last question: does God influence your dating life at all? And if so, how does he? How does God? How does God? If God does, how does that happen? Does God influence your dating life?
So, okay, I'll go. Oh God, that's a complicated question. For two reasons, because
Keep it
he didn't.
PG-13 now.
Yeah, well, of course, but
okay.
He wasn't always. Well, let me say he was always. I wasn't always listening, which is probably the reason why I've been where I've been, because there's not a relationship I've been in the past that I cannot look back currently and say, nah, I knew. Like, I can say it now. I talk about it all the time. I'm a very open book. I'd be like, I knew for a fact getting into that relationship, it wasn't going nowhere. And then, of course, people look at you and they're like, well, then why? Well, because, listen, okay, I'm stubborn, all right?
Yeah.
I got a really big head. I had a really soft bottom growing up. So, like, sometimes it don't hit the first, third, or fifth time, all right? Like, I be out here. But now it's a more conscious, like even a couple of months ago, I remember I set a date with this guy on what was it, Hinge or something, and he didn't show up to the date, and I knew before I left my house that morning he wasn't gonna be there, and I still showed up hoping that it was just my doubts and my fears and my insecurities, and I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time. I'm still in a season of yelling and anger because I'm just like, why can't I have it my way?
Yeah,
just a little bit. Like,
it ain't Burger King.
It
ain't Burger King.
Like, but like just a little bit. Like, why do I have to submit? Like, obviously, I gotta sit in it. So, for me, currently, he's influencing my life because I had to after I got mad with God, I realized I wasn't talking to him anymore because that's how angry I was about being stood up, when this is something I've told him multiple years that I want. And it's not the validation, it's personal for me. I'm currently in a fast where even if I don't want to open my mouth and actually say a prayer, I put it in a journal. And I hate writing. Okay. I hate it with a passion. But I'm in a like an intentionally single season because I undownloaded all my apps. I'm barely on social media. I'm listening to Christian only podcasts, Christian only music, because I'm just like, okay, fine. Like if this is what you're making me do, then we're gonna go all the way, and hopefully on the other side I'll feel better, right? Because right now I just feel like you're telling me no, but you're not telling me why no.
Yep.
And I want to know why. So currently the influence is just sitting like, and I'm telling you, I have not actually verbally said a prayer in at least a month or so, because that's how angry I've been. But every day since the beginning of April, I've been sitting here hating the writing, but sitting in my bed, just journaling, writing and writing.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this,
writing.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I know this to be true because I believe the word. Man, God always rewards those that diligently seek Him.
Amen.
It's His nature. He will not deny those that seek after Him. He that's what He said, and He don't lie. So ain't no hopefully something's on the other side. Something is going to happen.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to be what I want it to be. I think that's where I'm like, I'm at the beginning of my season. No, and what did I say? I'm stubborn, okay?
The more you start seeking God, the more what you want changes.
Yep.
It starts changing. What you used to want, you ain't want them. Like, I give it to this, and then I know we got to wrap up, so we're going to go around. Man, I don't know if y'all happen to y'all, but man, when I was younger, I had certain taste buds. Like, I used to hate lima beans when I was younger. Hated them. Now, and them things
good. Yes.
Lima beans are good.
Yeah.
With a little rice.
So I was thinking about one time, man, what happened? And the only thing that I came up with was I got older.
Yeah.
I matured.
Yes.
So my taste buds matured.
Yes.
So when you start seeking God, man, you start wanting just ice cream and cake and pie. But when you get older, you're like, I need me a I don't know if y'all are here yet, but man, some days you're like, I need me a salad.
I'm not there yet, man.
I ain't there yet.
All right.
That salad's a pizza, but it's still something.
All right.
They're in their 20s. They're in their 20s. They're in their 20s.
I am in my 20s.
My bad. All right. Pastor Sanders, lay it on us. Does God influence your dating life?
Most certainly, God does. I think when I first began dating my girlfriend Janelle, our whole purpose was, let's do things that are of God. And so I said that if toxicity was the opposite of God, I was like, babe, let's become obsessed with all things that are like healthy, all things that are beneficial to us, because all good things come from God.
True.
And so my entire search, has been rooted on the concept that God is love. 1 John chapter 4, verse 16. God is love. And if God is love, and we're supposed to become more like God, I need to do my very best to understand what love is like through and through. And so, dating has been about like really being obsessed with figuring out what does love look like practically. And what I can say is that I've learned, she and I have both learned that love is very broad, it's very wide, and it's very deep. And it's something that we're consistently learning. So I would say God most certainly has influenced my dating life and still is influencing my dating life. Hence why I haven't gotten married yet, because God has not said to get married yet. And so
how long? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get out my system.
Correct.
And so, God most certainly, He's there. God's there.
Okay.
Amen.
All right, Marissa.
Definitely. I mean, my mom and I joke all the time that God has like this hedge around me. Because even though I've tried to like step out of the bounds, those relationships have never lasted more than a couple of months, maybe, if that. They've always been like sabotaged or something crazy happened. Like God is like, absolutely not, right? And I was talking to a friend a couple weeks ago, and I had mentioned like if I had been married before today, I would have been divorced. And God knows that.
You feel that in your heart of hearts.
I when we talk about knowing yourself, like I think back at just the conversations that I used to have, what I liked. Like I'll give you an example, like Love is Blind. You know, there's some 25-year-olds on the show, and the things that they're talking about, you're like, this is so cringy, and this is not how you build a relationship. That's what I was worried about. And I think now I'm just, because like I've been really intentional with just like, you know, my time with God, like the palette has completely refined, and you know what? And I'm grateful to be within this hedge. Like this is the best part, because people are getting divorced left and right. There's broken families. Like Pastor Sanders said, it's miserable raising kids. And I don't want that. God knows I don't want rinky dink. He knows that. You know, like I'm not around rinky dink. And he's like, no, okay, then continue to be behind this hedge and just grow deeper with me and just wait. And I know there is someone out there. I know this is going to be worthwhile. And I'm grateful that I actually have accepted the influence. I've now begun the process. I'm 31 and now accepting it. And I know God.
31?
Yeah, I'm 31. Yeah, I know God takes all of this into consideration when he's creating your whole life path.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful, because I just was seeking that validation. I was so angry at him. I'm just out in the street doing whatever, and it's just not fulfilling. And I feel like I am, you know, experiencing like a semblance of peace finally.
Yeesh. So, you know what you just told me without telling me? If I can't let God love me, then I'll never let anybody else love me.
Sheesh.
Yikes.
Sheesh, man.
If I can't let him love me, because he knows how to love me best.
Where's my pint of ice cream? I need to
I then will start seeking avenues of artificial love because I've rejected his.
Right.
But man, I'm saying to be loved by God is one of the best feelings.
And one last thing. Also too, just realizing also just like guys that have come up to me or texted me, like I don't even have the same response or inkling anymore, because I'm not desperate for the attention. It's like, okay, I can kind of see through things a little bit clearer.
They slide into the DMs. You
know, it's just like, you're not even, no. There's no like God in you. So now, like you can sense it now a little bit more. You know, and you're not, for me, I'm not so willing to like experiment or see it. No, absolutely not. No, thanks.
Man.
Yeah.
Aaron B, it's on you, rap star.
Juwan wanted to say something. I'm gonna let him. I don't want him to forget his thought. You feel me? I'm gonna let him go ahead.
I'm gonna keep it very quick. I like, no matter what, like, and Pastor Washington is like really laying it in on hard. Like, if you don't have a relationship with God, like, you probably shouldn't be dating people. Like get a real relationship with God. If you can get a real relationship with God, like, I guarantee you, like, your dating life will like just exponentially, like take leaps and bounds, like up into the sky. Develop that real relationship with God, especially if you're trying to get married. Marriage ain't really for people who don't know God and who don't know God's love. Get you a real relationship with God, and then just see how God works. Like the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom.
Yep.
And all his righteousness. And he'll add these things to, don't be stressed for tomorrow. Like,
you're saying these things includes marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're stressed about marriage, if you're stressed about a relationship, you know, I need to like just seek first God, his righteousness, the building of his kingdom. And I guarantee you, if marriage is for you, like it can happen for you.
You know why that's so important? Because I can do bad all by myself.
Yeah.
Aaron B, talk to us.
Yeah, I would say, God does influence my dating life. From a couple years ago, baby in faith, right? I was like, God, I don't see how I don't really trust you to provide. I can't really see how this is gonna work. I don't trust you to provide me what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A couple years after, years, I'm just now realizing it's almost as if I asked God to like hold a jellyfish, and when it stung me, I was like, all right, God, I don't want this no more. So I realized I can't provide my own relationship. I can't do it. I physically can't do it. So it really God kind of forced, not forced, because God doesn't force, but it's like He made me realize that I can't do it. You feel me? And through that, I was like, okay, now I want you to enter. Now I see why. So I would say, yeah, God influences my dating life. I mean, even from the jump, I really desired like a godly relationship. I didn't really want to be wilding out there. I would say that in my heart, it wasn't the same though, but I would say, yeah, man. Just from the growth that I've had, over these couple years,
Mm.
um, I can see how I can even clearly see the influence God had tangibly. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though that has kept me out of a lot of trouble, man. A lot of down badness, a lot of like places I would not want to be if it wasn't for like
He's kept
God.
you.
And Marissa, you know, she gave me a little hope. She said, God, what's the word? He took into account the time wasted, but he took into account the hard headedness.
Always.
You know
Always.
what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say God influences me, man, just based on what I look at. I've heard Pastor Snell, who, if we don't know, he's the pastor at Oakwood SDA OUC. And he said, man, talking to the young adults in the crowd, he said, once you really get like Juwan said, a real relationship with God, you open yourself up to a whole different class of women, right? So I feel as though that right there, just the eye-opening experience is just God's influence in my life in a positive way.
Man. Aaron B, Marissa Thomas, Rachel Mason, Jawan Sanders. Thank y'all so much. I think you bless people that you didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your heart, your testimony, your experience, your realness, your transparency, and your word, man. Y'all was on one tonight. And man, we need to continue this conversation because I think a lot of the other young adults, millennials, Xers, they're in a season where I told somebody, when you hit your head against the wall enough, it puts you in a place where you're now ready to receive. You're like, okay, this ain't working. Let me at least try something else. So, man, thank y'all for rocking with me tonight. And, man, God bless you all for the rest of the week. Don't forget, the 28th is bachelorette party at 7 o'clock. This is not just for married couples. This is for singles. If you're thinking about marriage, if you're thinking about relationship, whatever, we're not putting, as Aaron B said, we ain't putting marriage on a pedestal. It's not an idol of validation, but we are just sharing information. It's going to be a great time. And then on the 29th, when I still do, for those of you that are married, we do want to celebrate, salute, and encourage you along your journey of still committing to the person you said I do to. And I promise it's going to be a blessing that you do not want to miss out. God bless you. Until we meet again, until we see you next Wednesday, have a blessed week. Signing off, Aaron B., Marissa Thomas, Rachel Mason, Jawan Sanders. Man, God bless y'all real good. Until we meet again. Peace.
Bye.